The pet door has locks on either side of the door which can be engaged manually or automatically depending on your requirements. First, we will show you how to manually control the pet door's locks. To change the lock settings, use the Lock Mode button, which is the left of the larger buttons in the button compartment and has a two-way arrow icon above it. The Lock Mode button overrides the microchip operated lock should you wish to restrict your pet's access in either or both directions. The pet door can be locked manually, as we will describe in a moment. Alternatively, it can be set to lock automatically based on the time of day. We refer to this automatic locking as the Curfew mode, as it enables you to restrict your pet's access outside of the home. In normal operation, both arrows will be clear, as shown here. This means that your pet is free to enter the home once its microchip has been read, and it may exit the door at any time. You can move through the various lock settings with successive presses of the Lock Mode button, as we are just about to show you. Press the Lock Mode button once and the lock setting changes to In only, and this means that your pet may enter through the pet door but not exit. This mode is ideal for keeping your pet in the house prior to a vet visit, for example. One more press of the lock button activates the Out Only mode. Now your pet may exit through the door but not re-enter. A third press of the button locks the pet door in both directions. This is indicated by both arrows being struck through. If you wish to return to the normal manual operation, press the button 2 more times until you see both arrows free from being struck through. To use the pet door's curfew mode with automated time-based locking and unlocking, you first need to set the current time of day. To do this, press and hold the current time button for around 3 seconds until the time display on the LCD begins to flash. The current time button is the button with the clock icon above it. To change the time, press the button repeatedly or press and hold it for faster increments. Once you reach the correct time, release the button, and after a couple of seconds the clock will stop flashing and the time will be set. Next, you must set the locking time. This is the time of day you want the door to be locked for exit from the house, such as in the evening. The lock time button is the central button with the padlocked clock icon above it. You set the time in the same way you set the current time, by holding down the button for a few seconds until the clock begins to flash. Then press the lock time button repeatedly or press and hold it for faster increments. Once you have set the clock to the correct locking time, take your finger off the button and wait for a few seconds until the clock stops flashing. Finally, you need to set the unlocking time. To do this, use the Unlock Time button with the unlocked clock icon above it. Set the unlock time in the same way with successive presses of the button until the correct unlocking time is shown on the clock. By default, at the selected locking time, the catches on the outside of the door will pop up and prevent the door from being pushed open. Until the clock reaches the unlocking time, the pet door is now set to In only, meaning your pet is able to enter the house if they are outside when the curfew begins, but once inside the house, they cannot leave. When the clock reaches the time of day when you have set the pet door to unlock, the catches on the outside of the door will drop down, allowing the door to be pushed open by your pet so they may exit the house. As some pet owners like to keep their pets out of the house during certain times of day, we have enabled a custom mode that prevents their pets entering the house. This sets the pet door to Out Only during the curfew period and can be used to prevent your pet from bringing prey into the home early in the morning. To activate the custom mode, you must activate Custom Mode 6 after you have completed the curfew mode setup process. Please refer to our pet door custom mode videos for further information. In both cases, once you have set the locking and unlocking times, you must use the Lock Mode button to scroll through the settings until you see the current time displayed on the LCD screen as shown here. If you wish to deactivate the curfew mode, you can do so by pressing the Lock Time button once more until you see both arrows free from being struck through. You can view the lock and unlock times that have been set on the LCD screen at any time by pressing the relevant timer button once. Please note that you will need to reset the current time after changing the batteries.